Hey guys, King of Tries here. Today I'll be a judge, your jury, and your analyst. And I am back. It's good to see all of y'all. It's been like a good month or so yeah, but I'm happy to be back, kinda. I've been seeing this. I still play the game, like, very casually, but, like, my friends keep me updated on the madness. And Pokemon Go, and despite me having a month break, has not changed at all. In fact, it's probably gotten worse. A little more smoother on the game side, but still errors, weak connections, and why is my opponent, a Pokemon, still not doing anything when they don't tap? Anyways, good to see y'all. For those of you that have seen me watch my video again, I really do appreciate y'all, because that's literally the only reason I'm back. So, but before we get started, it's gonna be my therapist mental health tip of the day as usual. And if you like, like I always say, if you like this, just skip to the chapters. That's why they're there. But this is going to be what's a toxic person. So I've been seeing a lot of toxic positivity on Pokemon Go. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to mention it later, but Luminosity just signed a Pokemon Unite team, meaning in 1 year, a esports game that's only a little bit over a year old has gotten one of the top esports orgs to sign with them. Meanwhile, we haven't gotten a single top 20 esports or top 50 or even like that to sign with our team, to sign a Pokemon Go player or athlete, our team. And that just shows that our time is up and there's too many toxic people in this community. Or not in this. I don't say this because I don't consider myself part of that community because I don't want to be a part of it. And the reason why, what I mean by toxic people, this is what it is for Psych Central. So, how do you control a toxic, or how do you deal with a toxic person? Or in this case, toxic positive people. Now, they're usually subtly or outwardly manipulative, self-centered, needy, or controlling. So their behavior is typically unpleasant or malicious towards others. This can also be the opposite. So someone that's overly positive in the face of something that's actually really bad or just not improving, in the case of Pokemon Go PvP, can be in the same manner. And these may manifest from underlying feelings of low self-esteem and mental health conditions, such as narcissistic personality disorder, childhood trauma, or other deeply rooted personal issues. As you notice, everybody why am I the only mental health professional that plays this game? There's a reason because of it, because all the other ones play a lot of other games, or there are very few of mine that actually do. So, but yes, people can be toxic and toxic positive. This is toxic positive people or toxic negative people. So several signs that you can look out for, and how do you recognize toxic behaviors? If you're confused or unsure of yourself that this person, you're like, wait, what? And the interaction feels drained, angry, or full of anxiety, or in this case, the opposite. If you're full of positivity or anything like that, then it might feel the opposite way, because it's also, toxic positivity is being more of a thing rather than negativity, because we all know what negative is, so what's positive. So drama may follow everything. Their life may have a storyline of a TV soap opera. So that's a sign of a positive person. In this case, allowing for Pokemon Go, they may seem good, but at the same time, when they finally go full negative and they go full mad mode, like they're pissed off or anything like that, and they just hound you like they're like a siren, then that's also one of the things. Master manipulation. Yet you may not notice until you witness it doing to something else. So they may put themselves as a good person, yet when you see them outside of it or doing outwardly, they may be suffocating. Yes, and they might not see it as a problem. It may be everyone else's fault. There you go. People that are toxic positive never see themselves or the game as part of the problem. It's everyone else. In this case, yes, it could be Niantic and everything like that, but if you're sponsored by Niantic and you're not fighting for the game, then you're contributing to the positivity. Or in the case of toxic positivity, like you see here, they may be so positive about everything they refuse to admit when challenges genuinely exist. There you go. We have problems, they refuse to admit them just so that they can make cash as full-time content creators and continue to become pieces of garbage. And I'm not afraid to say that. There's a lot of pieces of garbage. There are very few genuine people in Pogo PvP. That's to be honest. But in the case of further ado, you can go ahead and read this article. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. We got Swampert onto Trevenant. Obviously, this is a terrible lead for us, so we're going to swap right away. So this seems kind of dumb. Why am I swapping in my Trevenant onto a Trevenant with energy advantage? Well, here's the thing. You don't want to stay and get destroyed anyways, and I want to save Alolan Marowak for Trev. I'm going to fire straight Seed Bomb here, and as you see, it's a Zapdos. So, I was like kind of shocked. I was like, okay, that's big, dark yellow chicken that's actually my team's chicken. So I'm like, all right, this is kind of bad, but not really. So what we're going to do, and the reason why I did that with Trevenant, is that now I have the Trevenant. We're going to try to blast this Zapdos to oblivion with double Hydro Cannons, or single Hydro Cannon if they don't end up shielding. But now that Treven is near Hydro Cannon range. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this second Hydro Cannon, and then I'm going to send in Alolan Marowak, and then I'm going to Fire Spin down. I still have a shield, so I'm not in danger of getting hit by a Shadow Ball. And as you see, I'm just going to bone my opponent. Because it's a Victini. And I just said bone my opponent. That sounds really bad. Anyways, continuing on, without you didn't hear that. As you see, Victini's V-Create isn't going to go ahead and KO. I save this shield for the Shadow Ball or Seed Bomb, and then all I have to do is Fire Spin down. And that's game. Kind of scary, but not so much. I throw Trevenant because C-Bomb kind of puts you in danger anyways, so in that mirror, it doesn't matter so much. So if you see a Trev in the lead, just switch to your own Trev. And we lose the lead again. As you see, we got a Primarina. I'm going to try to bait with Hydro Cannon. They probably already know this is coming, so I should have just straight Earthquake, and I do. But you can KO with 2 Hydro Cannons anyways, so it doesn't really matter so much because Primarina isn't super bulky. As you see here, I'm going to attempt to get to another Hydro Cannon, but that's okay. Primarina is going to go ahead and Moonblast me down. All I'm going to do is send in Trevenant and Shadow Claw down with shield advantage. 2 shield Trev is very powerful in the Color Cup, even if you do end up seeing a fire type like over here, because if your Trevenant has energy advantage, you can go ahead and bait shields. So as you see, I have a Marowak and Talonflame with Marowak and a Trevenant with 2 shields, and this Burb is going to be Ghost Chicken. Or rather, we're going to, yeah. This makes no sense, by the way. Why didn't I already knew I didn't want to get hit by a Brave Bird, so that's why I shielded first instead of shielding the second one, because they could burb me, but at the same time, I was like, okay. And then they end up sending in a shiny Chestnut, and my brain is like, wait, what? A lot of people be doing mad spicy things in this cup, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, I still have a shield. I Fire Spin down, and that's GG's. It's literally that fast, and I was like, wow. So a lot of stuff in this cup does high powered damage, of course, because it's a Swampert dominated lead. Swampert and Walrein. Walrein gets sent into you. If you get a Walrein sent into you, send in a Alolan Marowak, because they have to Earthquake you. Even if they bait you with Icicle Spear, that's perfectly fine. Shadow Bone will do a lot of damage, even if you don't have a Shadow Marowak like I'm doing here. Shadow AWAC, I'm going to go ahead and just keep straight boating him. I love saying that, but at the same time, it sounds so wrong. So they said Icicle Spear, they successfully bait me. That's perfectly fine. All I'm going to do is just Bone Club and then Fire Spin down for extra energy, because they're not going to get to another Earthquake. Now, I don't have any shields, but that's okay. We're going to have that Amistar come back in, but because Amistar is a glass cannon, this Bone Club is going to do a decent amount of damage. This is definitely going to be a Rock Splash. That shinies do more damage, by the way, so it's going to KO my Shadow AWAC, and then we're going to send in Swampert. This is going to take the last shield. There's no way this Amistar is going to be able to get a nuke move, and we're going to draw out the back row, which happens to be a Celebi. Now, this is kind of bad. Magical Leaf is doing a ton of damage here, but I got Trevenant. So, even no matter what this Celebi has, Trevenant resists everything Celebi has to offer, so it doesn't really matter. And I can just Shadow Claw down for game. But that Lee Storm did a lot more than I thought. I was like, you know what, I resist this. I saw the Lee Storm coming, I was like, Mother of Arceus, that's a lot of damage. And as you see, we lose this lead pretty hard with Walrein. Your safe switch is going to be Trevenant unless it's a Walrein. In the case of a Walrein, you send in Alolan Marowak. So we're going to send in AWAC, and you just straight Shadow Bone. Getting the defense, the Fire Spins will add up along with the Shadow damage, and if you get the debuff, that's great. And we end up getting a Gastrodon. My brain's like, wait, what? So what happens is that sending in AWAC or sending in Trev will usually bait out whatever is weak to Trev or AWAC and vice versa. So I'm going to send in Trevenant. The good thing about having Trevenant against Gastrodon is that nothing that Gastrodon has actually hits Trevenant for a lot of damage. Water Pulse is resisted, Body Slam is resisted as well. So I'm just going to I'm going to overcharge here. Overcharge at every opportunity you can get. If you already know the other opponent's energy isn't going to be able to do a lot of damage or get a bunch of energy off you staying in, you want to overcharge so that you have enough energy for the next row. So you can totally ball out. And as you see, my opponent has no shields. So now I'm going to use the two shield Swampert strat, and I'm going to try to not use any of my shields, but I'm going to have to use a shield. So this is going to hit me with a... I'm going to get hit with a Power Whip, and then I have to use a shield because that Walrein is definitely going to have an Icicle Spear. As much as I want a 2-shield flex, I also don't want to throw and screw this 5-0 up because of the fact that I want to shield flex. So, easy game despite the fact losing the lead really hard against a Walrein. Next, we got Swampert versus Pelipper. This is also a terrible lead. Absolutely terrible lead because outside of having Sludge Wave, guess what? Pelipper resists everything Swampert throws at you. Next, I send in... This seems kind of suicidal that I'm throwing in my Trev into their wall, but this is actually okay because now I draw Obama Snow. The good thing about Trev is that usually sometimes people have Obama Snows or the grass type in the back. This is why we have this. Now I can send in Lolo and Marowak to fully farm down Obama Snow. Yes, it's Obama. I still say Obama. You know, you vote for Obama. If you know, you know. If you didn't vote for Obama, sadly, you're not that cool. But you know what? You're still cool. No, you're not that cool because you vote for Obama. Well, actually, you're cool because Obama Snow is an ice type. So if you did vote for... Well, no. If you did vote for Obama, you didn't vote for the ice type. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and fire these Shadow Bones. As you see, it's going to prompt my opponent to shield because Shadow Bone does so much damage. So, even though I send in against this Pelipper, that's perfectly fine. Trev in a Pelipper, as you see here, I'm still going to come out with a W because I fully farmed down that AWAC. That Obama Snow. And now my AWAC, we're just going to switch out AWAC, Earthquake, and come out with a dub. Even if they did have Blizzard, we're going to hit Blizzard and Earthquake at the same exact time. And that's going to I'm going to win CMP, or if they have Earthquake, as you see here, all I'm going to do is just be able to just let Swampert go, and then I should be able to go ahead and Fire Spin for the dub. As you see, I'm tapping on Bone Club, but it doesn't even matter because that's game. Really close battle, but despite the fact, as you see, there is a specific strategy. Just like how with no strategy and why this game hasn't been able to do the best as far as Twitch or anything else goes, it's because of rock, paper, scissors. As you see here, this disrespectful, evil pineapple of freaking, well, it's a pineapple, it's a pear, Venus flytrap, whatever you want to call it, is still prominent and it's still in Go Battle League. And a large part of the reason why this game hasn't really taken the reins of esports. You know, that's another thing. Another funny thing about Go Battle League or just Pokemon Go esports in general. Pokemon Unite just got Luminosity, which is one of the biggest esports org, a top 50 esports org, to join their game, which means their esports going to go far. So if you want to be an esports athlete, play Pokemon Unite, get on a team, do well. If you don't want to go into esports, don't play Pokemon Go PvP. Because the fact that no high org esport like Luminosity has signed to Pokemon Go esports yet, just shows you the potential of this game is null. It's going to die eventually. Unless, for those of you that really do enjoy Pokemon Go PvP, if you like playing a casual manner, that's fine. As far as competitive esports, we ain't going anywhere far. As you see, I just Hydro Cannon down. That's rock, paper, scissors, and that's GG's. So, that's just really the sad-hearted truth. Last but not least, for the Sweet 5-0, we got Manectric onto Swampert. This is really spicy. I don't know why you're not running Snarl, but my opponent sends in their own Swampert. I'm guessing that they really hate Pelipper. Because the only reason you would have a Manectric with Thunderfang is the fact that you absolutely despise Pelipper. They send in their Swampert, and I catch the Hydro Cannon perfectly. Despite the fact I haven't played for a month, I'm still catching Hydro Cannons, or in this case, Muddy Water, like an absolute madman. My Giga Chadness of my Trevenant, or rather my Creepiness Trevenant, is going to go ahead and Shadow Claw down, and then we get a Charizard. If they don't shield this, it's going to hurt a lot. We're going to ball out, and as you see, my opponent does not shield, thinking I'm going to bait them, and I'm like, that was a terrible idea, sir. Well, they're already down shields anyways. We're going to C-bomb this Manectric down, and at this point, it's already game. I'm going to send in my Swampert. Unless they Psychic Fangs me, if they try to overhit me, Flame Burst, I should be able to take very little damage. And that wasn't little damage, but you know, we still came out with a W. And I hope y'all enjoyed that 5-0, and that's GG's. And that's game. I hope y'all are enjoying the new season. Color Cup is a very bland meta. Can seem very rock, paper, scissors at times because of just things running around or just people using super meta. There's not a lot of things that are spicy in this cup that will actually net you a net positive just because things like Swampert, etc. are just so dang powerful. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just what it is. This is the best. This is this is my best ABB team. I did a little bit of research, and bam, this ABB team is really solid. So Double Ghost can do very well because of the absence of fighters, the absence of anything that really dominates Ghosts in this cup. Yeah, you have things like Shiftery that will give your opponents a back row, but Fire Spin damage plus Shiftery being squishy, there's plenty of ways for you to beat around a Shiftery. So, with that, especially since you're using Fire Spin AWAC. But, I hope y'all, I'm really happy to be back. Really sad to see the state of the game as it is. It's not all positive or like how people are putting out there. Just because we're having regionals, if your regionals aren't putting out numbers, what can you prove? Like, there's nothing, no one's going to want to come to the game. That just proves it. Like, and if you want to compare to Unite versus us now, it's not looking good. We're going to literally end up being the next Poké while we're at it. And I'm not saying this to be negative or mean. I'm saying that because that's what it is. That's the truth of it. This has been 7 years since Pogo PvP has been out, and our time's up. Like, 7 years and you can't do it. That's what it is. So, for those of you that genuinely like the game and like keep doing PvP, you do you. But those of you that haven't made Legend, look at it this way. Despite everyone being, nobody on the leaderboard or anybody on there is signed to a major esports org. Meanwhile, people that play Pokemon Unite, they are actually signed to major esports orgs. And they've only been in here for a year. So, be kind to yourself. No one cares if you're Legend. Most people don't care if you're Legend. A majority of the people that play this game are casual players, or people that play the catch phase of it, or raid. They don't do PvP. So no one will think of you negatively if you decide to walk off and you don't want to play PvP or go after Legend anymore. I will be anyone on that leaderboard. I can also be anybody on that stage, and you can do it as well. But I'm not going to dedicate my time to a game that doesn't fight for their players or there's no potential. We're eventually just going to die out. But other than that, I hope you guys do enjoy the game. It's good to be back. Hopefully y'all are happy. Hopefully y'all are happy that I'm back. But yes, I'm going to see you guys. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to upload like 3 or 4 times a week so that I stay consistent. But not every day like I did before, so I didn't get burned out. Good luck on your Go Galaxies, and I will see y'all on the next video.